You mentioned earlier open dates and having to deal with the rhythm and how it disrupts you. Could you kind of describe some of the things that happen during an open date, like the 3 days you guys work and then you give them the rest of the time off?
No, we work 4.
Yeah, 4 days.
We go through the week much like a game week. Monday and Thursday, there's more time in the film room, less time on the field. And then Tuesday, Wednesday are heavy work days, and we went certain team sessions against each other. And actually Thursday, we went the entire team period 60, 70 plays against each other. Good against good, or A team and B team, and just rotating back and forth. So we did a lot of that work in the off week.
And guys, I guess after August and after the summers and springs that they put in, and even the winters, they want to play games, I'm presuming, and that's what they get up for, that's what they live for. And then
sure.
There's an open date. Is that part of it too, the emotional kind of drain? They have to rein it back in?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just maybe there is to a degree. It's just it's hard to make that improvements, if you're not playing games. Again, I think games are where you make the most. You take the more steps and learn the most. And so just say that's just how it's happened. It's, and everyone knows how the schedule ended up, and we did the best we could.
The full speed nature of the games is what gives you the real look at
right.
how you're improving.
Yeah, and that's the only way to tackle is to be going full speed. And again, everyone, you start doing that against yourself and you get people hurt. It's just the balance you're always trying to have.
14 years now, you and Mac, which you guys are coming upon the longest coaching rivalry in history. You get a charge out of that status?
No, I care less about that. I guess just fortunate that I've been here at a great place that long is all that matters. But I don't look at it one way. I never look at it as this is about the players and the teams and everything else, not Mac and I.
Bob, can you talk about McTwire's development, and he's still in the rotation, still going to play? There are a lot of questions out there, but talk about how he's coming along.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, it just whether it be and for instance, like Landry said even after the game, you go through your read progressions, and it isn't about getting the ball to any one guy. You take sometimes if the defense is overloaded, whether they're rolled up on them with a corner and a safety on top of them, it doesn't look real good. Or, there's just certain situations you can't force it to a guy. You have to, and you're best on offense when you go through your progressions. I can remember way back in the day, my first time with Mike Leach, and he's sitting there yelling at Josh about what coverage he saw and why he thought this guy was going to be open. And Mike says, no. He goes, if this guy's open, you throw it to him. If he isn't open, you throw it to this one. If he's not open, you throw it to the third one. It's right here, and it's that simple. You don't sit there and try and make a guy get this many catches. It just doesn't work.
As a defensive guy, I think 10 different players caught a ball Saturday. As a defensive coach trying to defend that, how much pressure does that put on you when multiple guys are getting involved?
I think that's when you're operating the best. When you're, just as I put it, you're not trying to force the ball to any particular guy. You're taking what they're giving you. Because call coverages have their weaknesses, and it's up to the receivers, quarterback to find those, by going through your read progressions and getting the ball to everybody. That's when I believe the offenses are their best.
The last two running backs that they defended, Randall and Bowie, on Saturday night sort of went wild. 406 total, I think, between the two. That seems like an obvious vulnerability for them right now. You see that? It's obvious.
Well, hopefully, that's something we always, just like last week, want to be able to run the football, and be a big part of what we do. So hopefully we can block well enough and recognize what they're doing to block and be able to run. So it always makes a big difference in these games.
Who graded out the best of the offensive linemen?
Lane Johnson did really well, and Gabe Eichert overall did pretty well.
Well, Texas played OSU and West Virginia back-to-back, fairly similar offenses. How similar is your offense? Does that help them at all Or are you different enough that that's so they sort of got to?
Well, we have a lot of the similar concepts that Oklahoma State and West Virginia have. So, you know, to a degree, there's there's some similarities there for sure. But it also allows us to see what what they've been trying to do, in regard to defending them as well.
Do you assume that they will try to do something different because it hadn't gone so great for them the last 2 weeks?
Oh, I imagine they'll have some different wrinkles, sure, but you can only be so different. I mean, all of a sudden change your whole defensive philosophy in a week, before one of your bigger games.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.